Greetings, Heartland fans! The unthinkable happens just when you thought Heartland would forever break our hearts. Ty Borden is still alive, and his devastating exit was all part of a master plan. Fans are left gasping after a shocking revelation in the Season 19 trailer changes everything. Was his death a calculated risk to safeguard those he cared about, or the ultimate sacrifice? Amy's world is turned upside down as secrets burst open and loyalties are broken. Everything is altered by this. Heartland's most shocking turn of events is revealed in this viral trailer. Heartland fans, keep your Stetsons. The unthinkable has recently become evident. The shocking reveal that Ty Borden is still alive interrupts the haunting Season 18 finale in the explosive Season 19 trailer. He did not say his sad goodbye, rather it was a dangerous ruse. As the footage unravels, we're thrust back into the rolling Alberta foothills, where Amy Fleming's world, once shadowed by grief, is suddenly ablaze with hope, betrayal, and 1,000 burning questions. How extensive is the deception? Who else knew what Ty was up to? And what deadly stakes compelled him to fake his own death, resulting in the devastation of his family? Heartland rewrites its own history this season by combining heart-stopping twists with the raw, emotional storytelling that has made it a fan favourite. The trailer teases a comeback that is as much about redemption as it is about survival, with cryptic clues that are hidden from view and alliances that are torn apart by the weight of the truth. But Ty's return isn't a miracle, even as old wounds reopen and new enemies emerge. Time is running out on this. When Heartland returns, dive into the chaos, secrets, and second chances, because the greatest drama wasn't his death, but what happened next. Season 19 of Heartland poses the question, how far would you go to protect the ones you love? At its core, it questions the delicate line that separates sacrifice from deception. The Fleming-Borden family is forced to deal with betrayal, broken trust, and the haunting cost of a desperate plan when Ty Borden's shocking resurrection reveals a maze of lies. This season delves into the moral ambiguity of survival, looking at how love can justify unthinkable choices, despite the fact that those choices have the potential to break the very bonds they were meant to protect. The family and the Hudson community as a whole are shaken by Ty Borden's admission that he faked his death. Amy is still grieving Ty's tragic death at the start of the season. As she raises their daughter Lindy and relies on Heartland Ranch for healing, her world is defined by her quiet resilience. But everything changes when Ty shows up on the property's perimeter, alive but clearly weathered and haunted. It turns out that his survival was not an accident at all. Rather, it was part of a risky, carefully planned ruse. According to flashbacks, Ty discovered a lethal smuggling ring in connection with his international medical work after his near-fatal injury in Mongolia. He and Doctor worked together when the threats to his family got worse. Eliza Vargas, a former co-worker, faked his death in order to safeguard Amy and Lindy. While enduring the agony of watching his loved ones mourn him from afar, he worked undercover to dismantle the criminal network for more than a year. However, when Mitch, the ruthless leader of the smuggling operation, learns that Ty is still alive, the plan spirals out of control, and he targets Heartland to silence him permanently. Amy quickly transforms her initial shock at Ty's return into betrayal. Unable to reconcile the man she loved with the lie that shattered their lives, she confronts him with anger and sadness. Their daughter Lindy, who is innocently overjoyed to have her father back but unknowingly thrust into danger as Mitch's henchmen stalk the ranch, becomes an emotional battleground. The weight of Ty's lies causes the family to split up. Georgie discovers cryptic clues in Ty's old journals. Lou struggles with distrust, and Jack struggles to mediate the chaos while safeguarding Heartland's legacy. The family is forced to form a tenuous alliance as Mitch's threats grow more serious and lead to Lindy's kidnapping. Ty and Amy set out on a last-ditch attempt to save their daughter, which ends in a dangerous confrontation on a cliffside and a heart-pounding horseback chase through the Rocky Mountains. Ty nearly dies a second time in a moment of sacrifice, only to be saved by Caleb's prompt intervention. Meanwhile, Ty's journals are decoded by Georgie and Parker, who uncover unspoken truths that implicate Lou's husband Peter in the smuggling ring, a twist that further tests family ties. The aftermath forms the emotional core of the season. The wreckage of Ty's choices collide with his heroism. Amy declares that love cannot heal the trauma caused by his lies and returns his wedding ring. However, Lindy's steadfast desire for her father gradually weakens her resolve. The family is reminded by Jack, the voice of hard-earned wisdom, that sometimes survival hides behind betrayal. Ty makes a raw confession at Tim's gravesite in the finale, admitting that he was more afraid of the consequences of the truth than of death itself. The family is rebuilding, as Amy and Ty's tentative embrace at Lindy's rodeo shows, but there are still shadows. As the season reaches its climax, the dust settles over Heartland Ranch, bringing together threads of redemption, reckoning, and fragile hope. A bittersweet reckoning follows Ty's return, a seismic shock that reshaped the family's ties. Ty and Amy are able to save Lindy, despite the scars they sustained in a brutal fight with Mitch in the Rockies. With evidence Ty hid in the stables, Mitch is apprehended and his smuggling empire destroyed, but not before Ty snarls a final threat. "You think this is over? People just like me don't go away." The family gathers for a quiet, symbolic dinner back at Heartland, Ty's first time at the table in over a year. Lindy, holding Ty's hand, breaks the silence by saying, "Daddy's home." All that matters is that Amy's guarded heart is shaken as the room is softened by her innocence. Amy confronts Ty one last time later, alone in the barn. She admits, tears glistening in the lantern's light, "I don't know if I can ever trust you again." Ty responds, "I don't deserve your trust, completely exposed and without defenses. But I'll work every day to get it. There is no conclusion to the moment, but there is a glimmer of possibility." Ty receives a repaired bridle from Jack, always the patriarch, as a metaphor for repairing what is broken. He grunts, "You're back. Now show me where you belong here." Ty's journey comes full circle as he devotes himself to ranch work, repairing fences and caring for horses while rediscovering the rhythm of the land he fought for. Yet, shadows persist. The property now has a number of security cameras, and Ty, haunted by Mitch's warning, obsessively watches the horizon. The final scene of the season takes place at Lindy's school rodeo. Ty stands next to Amy and watches their daughter's fearless joy as she rides. Amy's hand touches Ty's as Lindy takes her first ribbon, a brief, unspoken truce. Heartland stands steadfastly against the horizon as the camera pans to the plains that are bathed in sunset light. However, Mitch has escaped from custody in a stinger that comes after the credits. His silhouette stands out against the wreck of a prison transport. In Ty's pocket, an unknown phone number rings. His expression hardens as he responds. Mitch hisses, "You're supposed to be dead." Ty's response was, "So were you." At Heartland Ranch, a heated battle in the moonlight marks the season's climax. Mitch is tricked into falling into a trap by Ty, Amy, and Jack, who use fake evidence of the smuggling ring's demise as bait. The family, along with Caleb and Georgie, get to work as Mitch and his men arrive at the ranch. As Ty confronts Mitch face to face in the stables, a fierce struggle ensues, and horses rush through the chaos. Ty yells, "You took a year of my life," as he uses a rancher's rope to disarm Mitch. "But you won't take my family," she said. Mitch is detained by Sheriff Morales as the ranch hands subdue his crew when he arrives just in time. Ty finally gives in to the weight of his double life and falls to his knees in the aftermath. Amy's gaze is a whirlwind of emotions as she approaches. She grabs his wedding ring from where she had thrown it weeks earlier and extends it without saying a word. She murmurs, her voice breaking, Lindy needs you. And I require your stay. Ty holds the ring in his hands as tears and dirt mix on his face. He declares, I'm not going anywhere. The family gets together at the ranch for a quiet evening a few days later. Between Ty and Amy on the porch swing, Lindy talks about her horse without noticing the shadows they've accumulated. As Jack grills steaks, Georgie and Parker smile contentedly as he silently nods in approval to Ty. What a wild ride season 19 has been for Heartland fans. Stay tuned if Ty's resurrection, Mitch's menace, and Amy's heartbreaking choices are still weighing on your mind. To ensure that you never miss out on our in-depth examinations of each and every theory, secret and twist as Season 20 draws near, click the subscribe button. Leave a message down below. Was Ty's deed justifiable? Could Mitch come back? Let's discuss. If you're on Team Ty and Amy and want more Heartland breakdowns, insider information and emotional analysis, hit like.